Shit, my mic was muted. Hello, and welcome back to another stream. Today, we are building the entry grade La Gundam from Gundam Metaverse. So, I picked up this kit a while back. Well, when I say a while, I mean like probably around Christmas. Because, well, I did buy it before Christmas, but then I got like a mystery box which had this in it. But I wanted to see if it was any much of an improvement over the other entry grade kits that I have built before. So, to get this out of the way, I have not built the entry grade RX-782 that this kit is based off of, but I have heard good things about it. I think the only entry grade I've built was probably the entry grade new, which I did have a good time building. That was a fun little kit. But, without further ado, let's get into building this one. So, I think the main differences is just the aesthetics and some of the weapons that this kit gets. And seeing how this is an entry grade, despite the thumbnail, we are not using any nippers. This is just everything right here. Luckily, not too many runners to organize, like our last build, that F91. So we only need to organize like 4 runners this time around, which makes it rather easy. And 2 of the runners are also pretty small. I think these 2 were connected at one point. They're just pretty snap for you. Looking inside. Yeah, no, it looks like these 2 were connected probably around here at one point. But manufacturers just broke it for you. Speaking of breaking, you can further break this into further pieces, like so, because there are points where it is supposed to break apart there, and like so. So this would have been just one larger runner, probably could have fit in a bag similar to this, but they decided to break it into 2, and I decided to further break into 4 more pieces in order to be a bit more manageable. But looking at these pieces, this does contain, I think, a knee somewhere on here. I think right here, here, or that could be an elbow. I think this might be a shoulder right here. And it is kind of mirrored over here. Of course, the feet are down here. We have our beam rifle right here, which is very simple to throw together. Though I think this is the entry grade RX-782 beam rifle, except for that sight. I think that sight is different. So it does, this runner is labeled as entry grade RX-78, well, 1144th RX-78 rather. So I'm gonna assume that this is from the original entry grade kit. Same with this, just injected molded with different colored plastic. So I'm assuming that this entire set is just from the original. However, these are the new parts, some of which we are probably going to be mixing with all this. So taking a quick look at this, looks like we do get a different backpack instead of this one. Though it is kind of nice that we do get one of these if you ever want it. It's a very simple backpack and will basically fit onto just about any modern 1144th scale kit. Does get a little 3mm peg in the back here, which is kind of nice. You can store some beam sabers up on there as well. So it looks like we do have a spare backpack. You know, I thought this kit would be much more orange, but no, it's like more of a blood orangey red color in person. We do have some clear plastic here for the blade. On this side, we just have some more RX-78 2 parts. So I'm assuming this is from the original runner as well. This is the only new runner in here. So yeah, I'm just gonna... no, I'll keep this one intact, even if I can split into 4 as well. I think I'll just keep this one split into 4 little manageable runners, and then just have this be kept as one, seeing how this is just all the armor parts. Though that does mean that we do get a fair amount of extra parts, including most of a head and a V-fin. And I think some shoulder armor as well, potentially. Yeah, we do. Like here and here. Because, well, the shoulder's different. I think the knees as well. I think these are the old knees. And these are the new ones that go over it instead. So yeah. Let's begin. We got everything just broken down and sorted out. Actually, I'll just move this over here to make this pile over here the original RX-78 2, and over here, it's the new parts. So, well, this is a pretty simple kit. Well, as you can see in here, you can see which parts that they use and they don't use in this build. So, though it is, you can't just pop everything off the runner, they do kind of recommend to sand down some parts, which I'm not going to be doing. I'm just going to be doing a straight out of the box build. As you can see from the instructions, it is a very simple build as well, which is kind of nice. I've been looking for a simple build for a bit. Anyways, let's see. No stickers either, which is also very nice. I honestly need to get more entry grade kits because these things are cheap and really nice to build. Like you don't really need much, many tools or much time to build them, just due to how simple they are. And as always, I'm gonna be starting feet first. So, first runner are these. So these, just pop them off the runner. Really, still pretty clean snaps overall compared to the last one I got. I mean, this should be, I wouldn't say better, but if they were to improve on anything, like just build quality wise, it would be in this kit over the entry grade new, because that is technically an older kit. So let's see if they improve any of like the, well, build quality of life things. Hold up, which part are those? Oh, these. This is ankle. We got 2 of these. I'm already mixing up my runners again. So I'm assuming that these are knees then. And I was right about those being knees initially. I do also see a sort of layout on this runner as well. You do get parts assigned from feet up. So you have like the lower parts here, calves, knees, thighs, potentially. I think these are the hip. Yeah, I think this is for the hips. More hip, arms, head. That is really nice how they lay that out. Almost forgot to pop off you. Might as well pop off the ankle armor while I'm here, you know? Yeah, as I was saying, layout is very clean so far. Oh, I forgot to turn on my BGM. I had that prepared, but I never turned it on. Well. Okay, so Let's see here. This ankle armor is a bit annoying to snap off. I'll say that. Ooh. I broke a bit of the runner off here. Right here is not a clean snap either. Let me grab some real quick. Need to reach for my nippers. I will be cleaning up parts with my nippers mainly. I did say this was going to be an out-of-the-box build, but I would like a clean build as well, to an extent. So, I mean, all you really need to do is just get sandpaper for this, which is kind of nice. Just like some fine-ish sandpaper. I'm not going to clean up like everything, but this ankle armor, I do not like how it is attached. I mean, we are still working with the old RX-782, the entry grade one. So I guess I can forgive it for that. That is one issue I have with a ton of the build kits. Is that they just use, like, a ton of the times, they are based off of much older kits. And Bandai doesn't really do much to improve on them. I mean, the new parts that come in the kits, they're usually pretty good, but the issue is that they're based off of a much older kit that is not as good. I mean, this is not really the case since this is an entry grade, so I can forgive it for a lot, but also the entry grade RX-782 is, so I've heard, is a very good kit. I'm wondering if there's any... Okay, I think there is some directionality to this. Okay, I think that is it for this. Yep. Okay, that was supposed to be facing that way. Good, good, good. So, armor. I think, if I remember correctly, most of these joints are C-clip joints. I mean, not everybody's gonna like that, but they do make for a very easy build because of that. Like, C-clip joints are very easy to assemble and work with, and just allow them to just not use polycaps because of that. So, I mean, I guess that's alright with me. Personally, I don't mind C-clip joints. I haven't really had any issues with the kits that do use C-clip joints in my possession. In fact, I do kind of like them just because they are very compatible with 30-minute missions, because they decided to use C-clip joints for those, and I love to customize. Speaking of customization, I do have another Lah Gundam that I do plan on throwing together with some custom parts off stream. I do also have some plans to make a full custom build on stream, mainly just build and paint. Like a customized build. But I still need to get the kit for that and the markers for that. Anyways, back to this. So this is the first instance where we are using these new parts. These are the knees, as I just said before. I may panel line this off stream as well, because I think I don't remember where I put my isopropyl alcohol. I think I lost it somewhere, or misplaced it, I should say. Everything just snaps together really nicely. Like, these connections are really solid. I do like that. The fact that you don't really need nippers aside for potentially some cleaning is really nice. Look at that. I am kind of disappointed that this RX 78 2-foot doesn't have like the naturally curved like toe area. Because I think that was a thing for some of the high grades. Like at the very least, this toe right here should be bent upwards a bit. But aside from that, I think that's pretty nice. You got the lower legs right there. I do feel like these are a bit smaller than I last remembered. But they'll work. Now, I guess we are going to work on the calves and the knees. Let me see if I can find the parts on this runner. Okay, they're right here. Well, not the knees. We already put on the knees. Oh, actually, no. We technically put on the exterior armor for the knees. We still need to work on the joints themselves. Some of these parts on the runner are certainly difficult to punch out. I am just going to use my nippers here just to make this a bit easier. I mean, it says no nippers, like, you can build this with no nippers, but, I mean, using nippers to just help get this thing off the joints initially is very nice. Because some of these parts are on really tight. Ooh, yeah, some of these definitely need cleaning. I mean, other parts, they snap off really cleanly, but some of these parts, I would definitely sand if I wasn't using my nippers and being lazy. I mean, you could also just rub it with your fingernail a bit, like what I usually do. That usually gets rid of a good chunk of, like, the rough spots. Like, does most of the work for you and getting rid of that. But it's not very efficient. Like, it takes some time to do. Sandpaper is definitely the way to go with something like this. So we have another C-clip right here. We got two little C-clip joints right there. They will be attached like so via a C-clip. And those C-clips are right here. Depending on the build, I do sometimes like to omit this part right here, because this basically locks the C-clip in place, but there are times where I just leave it out because I know I'm going to customize it, and I just don't want to lock it in place. There's also times when my customs builds just don't have the space to fit that C-clip, because it does also limit articulation slightly. So I believe it should just go in like this. Oh, that snaps in really nicely. Really clean so far. Okay, that didn't really snap in, but it's in. So as you can see right here, you can have a fair amount of articulation with this. But it does let the leg bend back at angles that I don't think it's supposed to really bend at. So in order to limit that and lock in these C-clips to prevent them from falling out, you have this. Which can be annoying to take off at times, which is why if you're custom building, I don't really... Whenever I'm custom building, at least, I don't really put that on. So yeah, as you can see right here, it does limit the bend of this up here. Like earlier you saw this bend like back to around here and touch the thigh. Well, have the thigh touch the calves, even though this wasn't like fully bent back like so. In fact, I think I can just show you right here. I have another leg. I forgot. So, you have this right here, right? I can bend this back about that far. This matches so far, right? So I have these two matching to an extent. But then this can bend back further, like so, even though the joint there is still at the same angle. So this does limit the articulation a bit, which is why I do keep it off some of my builds, depending on what they are. So for example, I built that tetrapod a while back. I did modify the joints a bit, so it would be way better. Like, the joints are much more flexible. However, that also required me to leave off that C-clip because otherwise it would not be able to bend, and the C-clip in the first place wouldn't even be able to fit. Alright, anyways, all that's left at this point are these. So this, I forgot that the legs attached with ball joints as well, but honestly, this thing does still have a fair amount of articulation, even with the ball joint legs, so I feel like that should be fine. There we go, leg done. Now onto hip. I don't know how I forget these are on ball joints. Also, if you're ever gonna build an entry grade, I would recommend not having short nails. Having short nails really makes it a lot more difficult. Like, just don't clip your nails before doing this. It makes the process a lot easier. Just because you can then just use it to kind of force your way into gaps like so, without fear of damaging your skin underneath. Instead of having to use something else, like as a wedge or nippers. And you could also just apply pressure and eventually force it off, but that can lead to some uneven edges, which you may or may not want. You probably don't want. La Gundam does have different front skirts as well compared to the RX-78-2s. So RX-78-2s does get, I think this right here is this front skirt. The back skirts are still the same, but La Gundam does have a different design on the front skirts. The RX-78-2 does have a boxier front skirt, I want to say. In design, La Gundam's does drop lower. Oh shit, the gate fell off. Okay, so this should be pretty easy to throw together, hopefully. Yeah, so the back skirt, you still have this boxy RX-78-2 design, as I just keep on saying. I do like the color-separated V-fin. That is very nice. Right there, on the crotch. We still need another part here. No, we don't, actually. Where is the cover? Ah. Right here. Okay, so which one of these do we pop out? I think these are the ones. I don't want to be too rough with this, otherwise I might accidentally break apart. Like, that is one thing that can be a bit nerve-wracking. But everything does layer on really nicely, like the few layering parts that this kit has. So yeah, that's really neat. So this just comes in from above. So what you can do if like you're willing to and you have nippers is cut this in the middle and before sliding this in like so. That will allow these skirts to move independently, albeit they are a lot more floppy afterwards, some depending on like how you cut them and how clean that cut is. But if you want that extra bit of articulation and don't mind the floppiness, then there you go. Of course, the back skirts, on as with most high grades, is incredibly rigid. This does not move at all. So the legs just kind of pop on here. Like, this is a lot smaller than I expected, but that's maybe because I've been building the master grades a bit too much. That, and I've been building, well, you know, much larger high grades like that high new, which I still have in my backgrounds. That thing's really nice. Like, that thing is basically the size of my F91 master grade. It's kind of insane how large that thing is. Especially compared to something like the F91, like high grade one, which I have above it, and my Victory 2, which I also have above it. Like, those things are tiny in comparison. But I don't think anything can really match the size of my Silver Bullet suppressor. Until I get myself a She Gundam eventually. Anyways, back to this build. Oh, I think we're on the torso already. We are making decent progress. I mean, yeah, this is an entry grade kit. I'd expect this to be about as long as a 30-minute mission kit, if not a bit longer, like just slightly longer than that, if I was like fully pushing myself to build one of these. I mean, with 30-minute mission kits, you're still cutting things out, but I think you have less parts to work with, which is, I guess, both a blessing and a curse. They are pretty simple. They're full of 3mm pegs, but they are very customizable, which is why I love them. Just due to how simple they are to customize as well. I mean, it does cost money to customize them, like a fair amount, with like all their custom parts. Like, that stuff builds up fast if you're not paying attention. But nonetheless, it's still very fun. I think this is how this is supposed to go in, no? Yeah. Okay, yep. It just kind of clicks into place. That's pretty neat. Does hide some of these marks as well, which is also really nice. I'm assuming that this part would normally be blue on the base RX-782. Now we got, I think, the lower torso, if I'm not mistaken. This does just kind of slide in. Is it down here or up here? Is it up here? Yeah, I think it's up here. Okay, so this ball joint slides in up here. This is technically to try and close out the upper torso. So this is a very hollow kit on the inside, even more hollow than your usual high grade, I believe. It might look a bit awkward at some angles, just because, well, at very specific angles, because, well, there are no really parts to fill in or add extra shadows. But hopefully the other parts can cover that up pretty well. I haven't had too many issues like that with posing the entry grade new. So that's really nice about that. I didn't push this in all the way. Make sure that this is all the way in like so. Don't leave like a little tab sticking out in there. We got that part done so far. That's really nice. Next up, I think we got this joint right here, which kind of extends. It is, it doesn't extend. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a little ball joint attachment that allows the torso to hook in down here. It does fit into this little socket or up here. So this thing does have two sockets for articulating parts around the waist. So this red part can move on independently, and this other red part, which I'm about to assemble, can move independently. Which is... oh, shit. Which is nice. So this just kind of goes in here. Fits pretty much seamlessly. I do kind of wish the movement was sort of interconnected, but it is still nice that they can be posed independently. So as you can see here, putting this all together, so this can still move, this all moves separately. And this up here mainly is meant to move, I guess move side to side on its own. Oh shit, the leg popped off. I am just treating this very roughly right now. You will have to probably grip it and push down in order to like turn the torso. Like a lot. But aside from that, torso does have decent-ish articulation. This can pop off really easily, I've just noticed. Aside from that though, yeah, so far really nice. Hopefully this goes in. But yeah, no, that joint right there just allows for a ton of movement around the waist, as you can see. Just be careful in gripping it like I am. Treat it a lot more gently than I am doing right now. Though the joints are a bit stiff, so I guess they can be loosened up by doing this. Oh, I forgot these side skirts as well. I think these are the side skirts. So this doesn't get any unique side skirts, it just uses the RX-78-2 side skirt. The only thing unique about the skirts is the front one. This does cover up the joints to an extent. And at certain angles, of course, they will be exposed. The side skirts are also very loose. Or at least one of them is loose for me. This one is very loose for some reason. I might have to just stick some gray tack in there. But if I just pop this one over here... it might be the ball joint that's loose. That's a bit smaller and looser. Yeah. Yeah, definitely the ball joint. I mean, it still stays on, which is really nice. And it's not expected to move too much, I guess. So it could be fine as is. But if I see any issues, I'd say just stick some gray tack in it. Gray or blue tack, either one that you have. So far, the build is coming along really nicely. Like, what, it's been 35 minutes since we started? I feel like the entry grade new took longer, just because, well, it's an entry grade new. It's a much larger kit. Like, that thing it stands around like this tall in comparison. Like, the legs themselves reach up to around here-ish, which is really nice for an entry grade. Like, I would highly recommend that kit, just due to how much plastic you're getting for the size. As for this kit, I guess if you just want a really customized RX-78-2, but personally I don't really see the point in getting this so far over getting RX-78-2 with full weapon set, unless you really want, I guess, the backpacks and the weapons from this kit specifically, or you just want some of the custom parts like I guess the skirts and the shoulders, which I think can fit on other custom builds. But otherwise, I would just recommend the weapons pack for the RX-78 Integrate RX-78-2 instead, because that comes with a lot more weapons and stuff in comparison to this. Was that the full torso done? No, I forgot about the other joints, such as the neck. That's kind of important, you know? Which one are my arms? These? This and... oh, there's the neck. Shit. Okay, so neck goes in. Really nice. But are these upside down? No, they are not. So these are, again, more C-clip joints. There we go. So it does seem like the backpacks are interchangeable. You can use the base ARC 782 backpack along with beam sabers. Oh, found the beam sabers. They're at the very bottom. They don't come with beams. I'm curious if they would fit with beams. Let me actually check, because I do have an assortment of beams. A tools box, which is very full. Oh my gosh, I forgot how full this thing is. Let's see, where are my pink beams? My RX-72 beams. Okay, these are very long. I don't think those will fit properly. Well, maybe they will. Do I have shorter beams? Maybe? Oh, I see some beams down in here. Off the runners already, so I don't need to cut them out. God, I really need to reorganize this thing. I plan on getting another box just to better fit all my stuff in here, like all the extra accessories that I store for customs. Oh wait, I forgot I had these. This beam as well is way shorter, and I think fits a bit better. Sadly, these beams don't come with the base entry grade. So, I guess that's a downer. But, I mean, if you're giving this to somebody who already has a ton of kits, they'll have more than enough beam sabers. Yeah, no, this one is definitely feels a bit too long. I think one of these, I forgot which kit this was from, because I just have a lot. I think this might have been from Silver Bullet, potentially. I think this one, this pink one right here, is from the Jesta. I know I have a yellow one in here from the Methus. Anyways, let's check this out. I do have a similar colored pink one. Oh yeah, it does fit. Perfect. Nice, that's really nice. Then you have, of course, this one, which does kind of match. It does match the color of the glaive a bit more. The Naginata. Yeah, that also fits. I mean, these seem absurdly long, which is why I do really like this Jesta beam. This is honestly my go-to beam saver. Though, this could... No, I don't think this is from my Victory. I think my F91 beams are also green in here. So I could be wrong. I don't remember what color beam sabers the F91 had. Actually, I can check right here. Yeah, no, they're green. Okay. Yeah, and so I think this is from my Jesta, which has a surprisingly short beam for what it is, honestly. But it is nice to know that beam sabers can fit in that. Cool. I will need to get another box, though, to sort all this. That was a nice little experiment we had going there. Anyways, back to this. As I was saying, you have two backpacks to choose from. This one, or the good old classic. Up to you on which one you use. So the classic RX-782, it does let you equip the beam sabers on the back. They just kind of slide in. Either you slide them in like that, or you can just slot them in from the top. And, you know, it's your classic RX-782 backpack. Then you could also equip the specialized backpack for the Lah Gundam, which allows it to wield and store the Beam Naginata, which is stored in 2 parts, I believe. Let me check here. Yeah, there are notches on here to help store it and keep it in place. I can actually just toss it on right now. Since it's an entry grade weapon, so it's not that difficult to assemble. So that's one part. Here's the other part. I'm curious if there's a specific order. Okay, so it seems like this would go on like so. If I'm lining up the notches right. Oh, shit. Make sure you got a good grip here. Okay, yeah, there we go. And this, I believe, lines up right here like so. Again, with the notches here. They are a bit difficult just because of how slender they are, but yeah. There we go. It does have a bit more difficulty laying down, but, you know, you got these out. I'm fine with this. Set that off to the side right there. Got our classic RX-782 backpack and beam sabers, if you happen to have any, laying around. I do have, of course, more beams to attach. But, anyways. Next up, shoulders. These two are completely symmetrical, so you don't ever need to worry about mixing them up. Annoying part is, again, just getting them off the runner initially, because, I mean, some of these parts, I don't feel like they are positioned well, because, well, you got like 4 gates attached to them, which is really annoying to, well, pinch off the runner. Okay, let's see here. So this should just attach like so. Does fit in really nicely. They have notches in here to also help keep them in and to help with the alignment. So these, I believe, should just clip right onto the shoulders around here. Yeah, they do. Okay, so basically there are these little notches on the side that allow for essentially another a very thin C-clip to occur with the shoulder armor. I mean, it doesn't move independently of the arms. Well, not too much. I mean, they kind of do. You do have movement up and down right here, but that also moves the entire arm. Since the arm is on a ball joint, this can rotate as well, which is kind of nice. But personally, I don't see many poses where I move the shoulder armor too much independently from the arm. Because, well, most of my poses that I do with this, the shoulder armor usually rests near the arm anyways. Unless, like, you're really doing some crazy over-the-head poses. then I don't really see a point. Anyways, next up, got all the joints for the hands here. So that, I believe, is the C-clip for the elbow. What are you used for? Is this the head? Oh, those are the eyes. The eyes look really weird on this because they're supposed to essentially stick out and create their own shading and shadow, which is really nice once you see it in person. Like, honestly, on screen, I don't feel like it does it justice. In person, it's really neat how it manages to create a shadow without any stickers or anything. We need to keep these separate because these are the hands here. Multi-purpose hands. You can only get one set. Holds the beam rifle and holds the Naginata and sabers. I am very tempted to see if I can make like a full armor variant of this, but I might just do that off stream. That'd be fun. Oh, where was I? Yeah, you still, again, you still have those RX-72 shoulders on here. Good old granddaddy shoulders. There you go. Okay, now this one's really stubborn. I might have to just nip it off. Okay, here we go. So these just kind of twist right off. Same with these. Well, they are identical, so you hope they'd be the same. Lucky you don't need to worry about fitting parts in before sandwiching, which is, I find, really nice. I believe this is the right orientation for the elbow. Oh, I forgot. Where are they? Are these? No, they're not. Oh, they're right here. Upper arm armor. I guess we still need these. Wait, what are? Oh, yeah. I thought that was part of the gate for a second. No, these we definitely need. These are the sockets for the shoulder connection. Okay, let's see here. So to quickly throw this together, we just seal up that. The elbow connection doesn't get in the way of the elbow, luckily. Though I think it can be a bit difficult to remove if you don't have the right tools. Like, I would recommend a parts remover or a really thin pair of tweezers in order to help separate this if you decide to go for custom builds. I do really like the 3mm pegs all over it, though. And I think that's it for the arms. I do really like how fast this thing can be assembled. So that's one arm done. Okay, no, it still does have some... It does have some fairly decent articulation. Like, I wasn't expecting, like, the arm to go all the way up to here without moving, like, this entire bit right here. So that's kind of nice. Does let you get in a couple extra poses here and there that you weren't expecting, I guess. I mean, the shoulder armor still will rotate with the arms for the most part, But, well, I guess that's to be expected for an entry grade. I feel like my expectations are set pretty low right now. But I'm basically just setting them as I would for something of this price. I think this was like 17 USD. It's still a really nice kit for the money. It's still a banger kit. Everything does assemble very easily. We're almost done with it as well. Oh my gosh. It's been like what? Oh, less than an hour. This is definitely going to be a very short stream compared to my usual build streams at least. Okay, next up, eyes and head. Then we just assemble the beam rifle, and I think the Naginata shield, that's about it. So for the head, those are the eyes. I think this right here is the chin. It is supposed to leave some spacing in here, just for the eyes as well. Let's see, parts of the head here, just the helmet. V-fin, it does have some safety nubs, which personally I don't really like. I kind of wish Bandai would not include safety nubs all the time, but, you know, they include safety nubs. Back of the head. And I think the mask should be right here. Okay, so this head design is very different compared to the entry grade RX-782 here that I'm observing. So the entry grade RX-782 head is literally just a helmet that you can slot on. Whereas with this, it's more of your traditional-ish sandwich style head. So I'm just gonna wing it without any of the instructions here. So this rests on right here. It's very difficult to see, but there's this tiny gap between the yellow and the red around the eyes underneath. That is what helps create the shadow and shading effect. Let's see. Luckily, this head is very easy to assemble, even without instructions. Like, honestly, I feel like they could have just gone with, like, the helmet style of the RX-782 and still be fine. Because I think that also works. Does it? So if I were to gently push this up. Kinda. Oh, yeah, it does. So let me just seal that. I guess an issue would be, like, just this popping off from time to time whenever you try to pull the head up, like the helmet, instead of the rest of the head. Which I guess is alright if that was to happen. Let's see. You also have this little unique camera. Almost like a jewel sitting on top. It is a bit awkward to get in, honestly. But aside from that, yeah, I think that's in. That is the base kit already done. Really simple kit. Like, insanely simple to build. I mean, I guess that's what you should expect from an entry grade. But you do still have a fair amount of articulation. Oh, except for this. I don't know why the skirts aren't moving up too much. Like, the front skirt is not moving up as much as I expected it to. Huh. Why is that? Are you clashing with anything? You have to bend. Okay, let me remove these because these are getting in the way a bit of just how I'm able to grip this. So if I pop this up a bit. Okay, so they are clashing a bit with this centerpiece right here. That's what I'm noticing. So that does affect articulation a bit. And you can only get the legs to go up so far. About that high. I mean, it's still pretty good, but, you know, I'm still disappointed by that. You can actually get them to bend back really well. I do like the ankle and toes. Oh boy, yeah. No, look, you can get some decent forward bend out of this. That moves really well. Like, that ankle articulation is really nice. As for the back movement, about right around here-ish. So if you're just to, yeah, right around like that, would be bent like that much. Arm movement isn't too spectacular. It's a 1-point elbow, but I mean, it's still really good bend, nonetheless. It's pretty easy to pose. A really light kit, which does kind of help, because you don't really have to worry too much about this center of mass too much. Now, onto the weapons. Let's see here. So I was kind of messing around with the beam sabers earlier, but now I should probably properly get into the other weapons. So, beam rifle. This thing is your classic RX-782 beam rifle. It does come with the RX-782 sight as well, but well, that is not really used. Instead, it has its own custom sight, which you sadly do not get a foil sticker for. I do kind of wish that you got one, because otherwise it is just kind of bland looking. I might just go back eventually and color this in with a green Gundam marker, but that might be a bit difficult to do. But it's your usual RX-782 sight. Sadly, I don't think the handle moves side to side. Like this lower one. This one right here just is supposed to slide into the hands really easily. This one does move side to side, the sight itself. So that's your classic beam rifle. You saw the Naginata. And here's the beam for it. Oh, the beam plastic is very flexible. So anyways, this should just fit into here, I believe. Hold up. How are you supposed to go in? Like this? Just kind of have to wiggle it in. It's really tight. But you can kind of see a notch where it's supposed to fit. There we go. Took longer than expected, but these are supposed to just link up like so. So taking this, I do have some experience after posing the Shenlong Gundam, as that also has a similar weapon. Oh, the hands are a bit tough. Okay, there we go. So I would recommend sliding these through the hand first before hooking them up if you're going for a pose like this. It is a bit floppy, like the joint area, this joint right here, you can see there's a bit of a flex to it. So you will have to position your hands accordingly to try to reduce that as much as possible. So basically just slide up and down make some slight adjustments until it's all good. I mean, it could still get a pose similar to that of the Shenlongs without having the specialized hand for that, which is very nice, actually. Something like this. You can still get your basic Naginata pose. Like just bracing it to swing and pointing it. Let's see, finally, we have the shield. Let's see, so there's a reason why this thing does have 3mm peg, apparently, and that is so that the shield can also be stored on this thing. So shield is very simple, it's just a sandwich of 2 parts here. You have your base shield, and then you just have the decoration. So all this is just a 3mm peg that can just slide in right here. And there you go. That is the Lah Gundam. Now one unique thing about the shield, it does actually have storage on the back, so you can't actually fit this back there. It does work on both backpacks, by the way, since it is just a basic 3mm peg. So yeah, this can fit into anywhere that has a 3mm peg, etc, etc. That is gonna be it for the entry grade Lah Gundam. That is a very simple build overall. Honestly, my one gripe that I would have with this is it has no place to store the beam, not the beam sabers, the beam rifle. Sadly. I'm kind of curious if I can somehow get the beam sabers on here as well, though, But aside from that, actually, I don't know how well this would fit onto other 1/144th scale kits now that I'm looking at it, because it has this little tab right here near the top. You can kind of see it right there. That might get in the way. Anyways, that's it for this build. That is a really simple build. Overall, really nice kit for what you're paying. It was also very cheap. Let's see. You still actually have parts on the runner here, such as the sight for the beam rifle, which I don't know what you'd use for. That is on a C-clip. The helmet, which, again, I don't know what you'd use for. Like, I guess if you just want to swap between the two, you can potentially do that. You have the shoulders, which are also C-clip shoulders. Those do work with 30-minute mission kits. The knees, those are decoration. So theoretically, you can swap out the knees if you so wish. Of the Lah Gundam and the RX-78-2. You still have extra skirts. So if you ever want to do custom builds about those. Well, speaking of the skirts, you of course also have these which go with the skirts. And yeah, that's all that's left on the runner. Of course, we did test that it does work with beam sabers. Both of these worked. The long one is very long, as you'd expect, and the short one is personally the length I would go for aesthetics. But the long one does match this color a lot better. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for this stream. Monday, I think it's New Year, if I'm not mistaken. It's Friday. Yeah, Monday is the New Year. I do have a video in the works about the Battle of Loom. I do plan on getting that video out before Monday. I hope potentially on Sunday. I still need to do a lot of editing on it. I did already do all the voiceovers, and I did, of course, finish the script before that. Honestly, the script was the hardest part. It took me the longest to get everything together. But aside from that, yeah. I still need to do a fair amount of editing on that video, but aside from that, the video is almost done. So, on Monday, I do plan on doing more Metal Gear because I'm absolutely addicted to that. And probably same on Wednesday if, I still need to check when I need to head back to class. But, I think next week could potentially be the last week of just having 3 streams, which I might just make it all into Metal Gear streams. I'm very tempted, I'll be honest. But anyways, that's gonna be it for now. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys then. Bye!